Yo, what's up, everybody? It's episode 1 of the Empire Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Anthony Martin. Go ahead, let them know who you are.
What's up, you guys? My name's Anthony Martin. I'm an entrepreneur, along with my man Tyler Freeman here, Mr. Real Estate Guru. And so today we're going to talk to you guys about what the difference is between a business person and an entrepreneur. So a lot of people might think that it's the same, but y'all are going to hear our take on it. And then once we drop this episode, we want to hear what you guys have to say too. And any more comments in the future, any more videos, any more suggestions, please let us know. So we're just going to jump right into it. So, Tyler, what do you think the difference is between a business person and an entrepreneur?
Well, I feel like it's kind of what I said before, and it's, a business person just tries to capitalize on an opportunity, whereas the entrepreneur actually creates that opportunity. So I feel the entrepreneur actually kind of gives the business person the business. You know what I mean?
Dang, that's a good way to put it. I didn't think about that.
Because if you really think about it, it's more of, if you're an entrepreneur, right, people like Target, Walmart, right, those are big corporations and big companies. But the people who started them are entrepreneurs, and the people who run them now, they're entrepreneurs in the sense of they create opportunities to allow other business people to come in and do the work for them.
Okay.
Right? So they kind of create the system to make their lives a lot easier. And the biggest one I would give as an example is the pickup, like Target and Walmart pickup.
Oh, wow.
So now you have people who are pulling up to a parking spot, they're shopping for your stuff online, and then you have another person you're paying that brings it out to their car. People love it. Like Target is creating a whole section of their parking lot dedicated to the pickup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the people running those types of ideals, those are going to be the entrepreneurs, whereas the business people are the DoorDash drivers who are like, okay, cool, I'm just filling this void. I'm filling this opportunity and I'm capitalizing on it, whereas the entrepreneur creates that, that opportunity.
So how do you feel about, franchisees? So my old boss from Smoothie King, shout out to Amy and all the Briscoes. So she franchised a Smoothie King. So do you think she would be an entrepreneur or a business owner? Because technically she's creating an opportunity for a business to be there. But like you said, Smoothie King was the original one and she just franchised off of them.
That's a good question. Now, franchisees, and what was her name?
Amy.
No diss on Amy or anything, but for franchisees, they get binders who tell them how to run the business. So I think for franchisees, when you do the first store, you're a business person because they're kind of giving you the layout of what you need to do. But when you break off and you do a second store, or you make the first store, you add something to the binder, then I think you become an entrepreneur because now you're making the systems better, or you're trying new things out, or you're making it a different process. And now when you're opening up the second store, I would count you as an entrepreneur because yes, you're going to get the same binder, but you're already going to know what to do there. So now you know what else you need to create for your store to make it better than the first one.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the goal for franchise.
She has multiple stores, so it's all good.
So, and that's the same thing with like Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
Chick-fil-A, people, if you own one, right, people are like, oh, okay, cool, well, you're just running Chick-fil-A. But then when you open up second, third, fourth, location of a Chick-fil-A, it gets different.
Yeah.
Because now you can do different things and you can capitalize different ways and you can do newer stuff, so that's what I think about franchisees, though.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I mean, not that I've never been interested in franchising, because I honestly told Amy I'm trying to buy her Smoothie King whenever I get the funds. But
Which one?
it's the one off Pat Booker.
Oh, okay.
And then she was trying to open up her one in Cibolo, or like the 3009 area.
Okay. So right there, Cibolo Shirts, kind of.
So she's trying to have the whole UC shirts area on lock. But that would be like, I would be interested in that just because I used to work there and I just feel like it'd be really cool and I like their whole system and process of how to go about that. But I heard the Chick-fil-A system is crazy.
Yeah.
I want nothing. I'd rather just run my own stuff.
Yeah.
I'd rather open up my own Chick-fil-A and do my own thing like that. I heard it's insane how that runs.
Well, a lot of people are like, oh, it only costs $10,000 to open a Chick-fil-A.
Nah, bro.
But realistically, right, it takes $10,000 as like a down payment, right? But let's say you didn't pay anything else after that for a Chick-fil-A, they're gonna take 70 cents out of every dollar you make. So
You're not making no money.
Yeah, so it takes, and I just use this as a statistic, right? If you order a number one, just like the number one meal, if everybody on earth orders the number one meal, it's gonna take that Chick-fil-A franchise owner, they're gonna have to sell 2 million of those meals to make 250 grand a year.
Jeez.
2 million of those. Like, that's 2 with 6 zeros behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they have to sell the number one 2 million times over to make 250 grand. That's what a starting doctor makes. You know what I mean? And to think, I mean, yes, in the city of San Antonio, you could sell a lot of chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
You could sell a shitload.
You might be able to get there.
But not in a year, because there's only 1.4 million people here. So it's gonna be tough for you to get that in a year.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have some repeat customers. You can get there though.
Hey, they're gonna have me as a repeat customer
Yeah.
for sure. It'll be okay. I'm gonna order 2 meal by myself.
Well, on the franchise token, what would be the one franchise you would get, like besides the Smoothie King?
That's the one, Smoothie King. For
But
sure.
if Smoothie King, if you didn't know Amy or anything like
Anything.
that, yeah, what would be the one you'd go after?
Man, probably, if not Smoothie King, I'd say either a Chick-fil-A or a Gold's Gym. And only those two because those are really big brands. So for a Gold's Gym, you don't really have to market anything. The name itself does it for you.
And it does the marketing.
Yeah, as long as you're in a good location or in a decent location that aren't around a whole bunch of other gyms, you're gonna get traffic coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And so me working at Gold's Gym and knowing how much everything is, like all the memberships and the personal training and the pay and all that, they make money for sure. Like if you franchise a Gold's Gym, you're getting to the bag, but it costs a lot to start up because building a gym, if you're starting new, you're gonna have to buy all new equipment.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have to, if you want a pool, you're gonna have to remodel the pool. And then if you want a basketball court, then you gotta redo that too. Then you want a group exercise class, you gotta do that room too. And then if you want a kids club, you gotta do all that.
And you
have
gotta
to be,
hire the employees too.
and then you have to be in line with all the different regulations of like what's in there and what's not in there because there are certain things you can have and certain things you can't. And then of course hiring all the employees because the more stuff you have, the more employees that you have to hire.
Yeah, you
too.
have to. Yeah, you have to hire more people.
So that one, that would be if I had a whole lot of money, a whole lot of cash just to spare, and I'm just like, man, I got time. Yeah, let's just open a Gold's Gym. I would do that because there's not a lot of marketing that has to be done with that because it's Gold's Gym.
Mhm.
And it's a gym, so a lot of people are just going to go. And just off the fact that like, oh, Gold's Gym is good. Yeah, okay, let's go to Gold's Gym.
Mhm.
And they just go.
Yeah.
And so that would be one, or a Chick-fil-A, but also a Chick-fil-A is more on the expensive side too, and there's a lot of work that goes into a Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
But for both of those, once those are open, you're good.
Yeah.
Like you don't really, there's no marketing that really needs to be done
No,
at
not
all.
for a Chick-fil-A, no.
Like either
Yes.
one.
No.
So for a Smoothie King, I feel like that would be fun to me because I can do a lot of marketing for it. Granted, I don't really need to, but I can and bring even more traffic to come through. And so, like you said, you can kind of do different things. What works, what doesn't work, and kind of figure it out from there.
Yeah.
But with Chick-fil-A, it's kind of just like, that's my passive income. I can just open it, cool, forget about it. That's whatever. Because then you can just put a GM who will do everything that you would normally do. And then you just pay them a salary and then you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, that's how I would kind of run it, or that's how I would see it. But those would be, that's probably my top three. Smoothie King's definitely number one.
So then as an entrepreneur, would you say it's more important to put money into marketing first or to hire employees first? Like if you're starting your business.
I think it
big
depends
one.
on the business. Normally I'd say marketing,
Mm.
but I think it just depends on the business because if that's not a business that you are, I don't want to say good at, but like if you have room to still grow into that business, you need the marketing to bring the people to you. If you're kind of already established and you know what you're doing, you don't need to really worry about marketing. If you're just trying to scale really fast, okay, well you could really just split it down the middle. Like, okay, I'll put a little bit towards marketing and then a little bit towards the employees so that whenever I market, I already have my clients, but I'm trying to market and bring more people in. So then I just have that extra employee who can just take all the rest.
Mhm.
So then you're not worried about sending people away or doing nothing like that. It's just kind of a constant flow. And then once you kind of, okay, I'm taking care of this person, starting to get more clients. All right, now let's push heavy on marketing so that whenever I do that and we're super swamped with clients, then we'll just bring in another person. And then another person, and then another person. Like that, in theory.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, their automatic thing is I need to hire more people to get me to where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, tend to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think, now everyone who runs a small business is an entrepreneur, right? Like not every single person who runs a small business can be an entrepreneur, because they might have a business mindset and they might say, oh, okay, cool, well, I'm good at business. But being good at business and being an entrepreneur are completely different. Because an entrepreneur, you need to know that you're going to fucking fail 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, absolutely.
Like 99% of the time, you're going to fall flat on your
Yes,
goddamn face.
Absolutely.
You know
Anyone
what I mean?
who's listening, listen to that.
You know, so
absolutely.
I think that every business owner is not an entrepreneur because they're not ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Most business owners open up a business and they open their first business and it's going to fail, and then they're going to think they suck and they're never going to do it. They're going to go back to their 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say, oh, I had this 9 to 5 before. I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I ask a lot of people this when they tell me they're an entrepreneur, or even newer agents that come in. I ask them, okay, well, what's your plan B? You're like, well, you know, I got a degree and I had this job, so if I fail at this, I'm just going to do that. I'm like, okay, well, you're already failing. Like, you're already failing yourself and you're already failing your opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because I think you're dumb, it's not because I think you suck, but it's because you're not knowing you're going to fall on your face here 90% of the time, and you're not going to be willing to get back up because you think you already have this in the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
So for an entrepreneur, I think that's why a lot of small business fail, is they think, okay, well, now I'm starting to get clientele, I need to hire a bunch of employees. So they go out and they hire 20, 30 employees, and then they're like, well, fuck, 2 months
I need
later,
to pay them.
I can't pay them
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have enough clients to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, you should have waited to hire 20 employees, maybe hire 5, spend all the rest on marketing, put it in marketing, build your brand, build your influence. And then when it gets to that point again, we're like, fuck, I'm paying 5 employees and I still got people, you know, who are turning away from my business because I don't have enough employees. Now you go hire 5 more.
Mm-hmm.
Right, now you go hire 10 more. So you never want to hire as many employees as you have as demand, because then that's where you're just breaking even. So now you can't put money anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you always want to hire employees underneath your profit value so that you can keep growing and then add more, and then grow and then scale, and then grow and then scale. And then eventually you'll just be able to like scale.
Yeah.
Because if you have 20 employees and you're still making profit, and let's say all 20 quit and leave, well, now you have room to go hire 20 employees.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about, well, fuck, now I'm down to 0. Well, no, now you have room. You have that profit margin room in this clientele room where you can go hire 10 more employees real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
That makes sense.
that's why I think a lot of people misjudge it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
No, I mean, from experience, yes. I also misjudge that as well. And so I also feel like too, so in regards to the whole business owner and entrepreneur, I feel like that comes more down to mindset. So that goes back to what you said about if you're not okay with falling on your face and getting back up, you're not an entrepreneur, bro.
Mm-mm.
Only because, and this is just my personal opinion, like you said, entrepreneurs fail every day. You wake up and get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And you get punched in the face all day, and you go back to sleep, and then you wake up and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
No person who respects himself would want to do that. Like, you're telling me you want to wake up every day and get punched by Mike Tyson, bro, and then do it again tomorrow?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Not everyone's built for that.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, and to me, that's okay. Like, that's fine. I just think it also comes down to the point of, like, action as well. So, like, you can say all day, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. But what are you doing? So, like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing things that are kind of like, okay, I'm trying to build this business, or oh, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to X, Y, Z. All right, yeah, that's cool. But what are you doing to actually get to that point? If you're doing anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not doing anything to get to that point, then you're just talking about it. Because you have to know at the end of the day, if you do it, the potential to fail is there. And you have to be okay with that. And so it sucks too, just living, well, for me at least, living in this whole like social media era type thing, because I'm very private about all my stuff. I don't like posting, I don't think I've posted anything in months. I don't really care to post anything. I haven't gone out in months. Like, I just don't care to. And so watching a lot of stuff on social media really can get into your head of like, oh, this dude my age, he's doing all this. Like, why am I not doing this? But everyone's path and everyone's journey is different. And also too, and I also talked to my old boss Amy about this before I had started. She's like, whenever you start, a lot of people are going to ask you questions and a lot of people are going to doubt you. You just have to keep going.
Yep.
Because, and even I experienced it with my shop too. I got in there, all right, yeah, it should take about like a month or two to build everything out and we should be good. That was one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. People were asking me all the time, hey, when are you opening? Weren't you supposed to open a month ago? When are you opening? When are you opening? I was like, bro, shut up. Like, I'm going to open when I open. But so stuff like that kind of gets to you at the end of the day because, of course, you're waking up getting punched in the face. Dang, did that hurt? Go to sleep. Wake up, get punched in the face. Dang, you broke your nose? Wake up, get punched in the face. And it's just one after the other after the other. So it's like, dude, do I really want to do this? And then once you get to the very end and then you reap all the rewards, then it's like, all right, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't get to that point of reaping the rewards. They just kind of get punched and they're like, I'm going to stay down here. I don't like getting hit like that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, granted, no one really likes getting hit, but it's all about getting up after it. So are you willing to get up after it? If not, then it's probably not for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that they are, so like, okay, cool. If you think that you are, go do it. And then when it happens, then ask yourself again. Like, dang, am I really willing to deal with this every day? Because small wins add up, but those small losses add up too. So you have to ask yourself, are the wins greater than the losses?
Yeah.
So even like the conversation we had in the car on the way over here, just that one small little win, or those two small little wins, made up for everything that's been going on. So I'm like, all right, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine.
That's true. You know, everybody always says like 1% better, but no one ever thinks about the loss portion of how does that affect my 1% either.
That's true too.
You know, so, and I'm a strong believer in getting 1% better every single day. Just make sure you learn something every day. Any room you walk in, learn something. So I'm a big advocate for the 1% rule, but I never thought of it like that either. Whereas, where are my wins stacking up to my losses? Because you're also losing every day too. You're losing something. You know, not everything is a complete win.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I wish I would have known when I was younger too. Because just for a side note, myself, I've tried to start I think 9 businesses before I got into real estate. And you see where those businesses are at. So just to give a perspective, it took me 9 different businesses to fail for me to get into real estate and actually start succeeding at something.
10%.
Literally, yeah, 10%. So just as a side note. But I never really thought about it that way. Whereas, how are my wins stacking up to my losses? Because you could be winning, but then your losses could be here.
So you
then
really
have
didn't win
to,
anything.
Yeah, so then you kind of have to weigh it out and kind of see where your different is, where your differentials are. So that's a good way to think about it too, that I never really thought about.
Yeah, well, I think that's just kind of how my brain works. Like, I'm a numbers guy. So I think, to me at least, okay, 1% for a win, half of a percent for a loss. I still won today. Not bad. But you get that 2% for a loss, 1% for a win. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's try again tomorrow.
That's a hurting day.
Yeah, like that was a long day. That one hurt. So that's just kind of how I think of stuff too. But again, I think getting 1% better each day, or at least trying to, and that could be really like simple stuff too. Like if you normally don't make your bed in the morning, okay, I made my bed today. Boom, first win. Then now I'm gonna go to the gym. Okay, cool, second win. Well, I normally drink soda, but instead of drinking 4 sodas today, I only drank 1, and I kind of drunk water for the rest of the day. Like, okay, another one. And then they kind of stack up and build. Then you're like, okay, well, I'm trying to start an ice cream business. Okay, well, like, let me research on how to start that. Okay, you do that, and then you feel better, like, oh, okay. And you feel like you're getting one step closer each day. And so, low-key, I pray about that every night. Like, I just pray about getting one step closer to whatever I'm trying to do each day. And so as long as that happens, it makes me feel a little bit better as to like, okay, I didn't completely do nothing all day, or I didn't completely fail all day. I at least got something in. And I know I hold myself to a completely different and way higher standard than most people do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because for me, like, just drinking water and making my bed, like, I do that shit every day. Once in the gym, same shit, different day.
Yeah.
So, like, I need something not really tangible per se, but like even a conversation, or like a phone call or an email or something that kind of gets me a little bit closer. So then I'm like, okay, well, all this happened today, but I got this email, so it kind of offsets. So like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I'm good for today. And so I think having that type of mindset, or having a forward-thinking mindset, is the most important thing an entrepreneur can have compared to a business person. Because like we said, you're gonna fail, bro. It's okay. It happens.
Really quick, I want to ask a question then based off of that. Do you ever think that there's a mind switch between a business person and entrepreneur? And if there is, what was your personal one, if you had one? Or what do you think it might be?
So I think there is a mind switch between a business person and an entrepreneur, because you can, I've always wanted to do business, whatever, and then you might have a moment or a video or a text or an event that happened in your life that kind of caused that switch up to happen. And then from then on, then you kind of realize, okay, well, I need to start doing stuff like this, which will kind of shift your perspective and kind of give you that entrepreneurial mindset.
Mm-hmm.
For me, bro, I don't even know. Only because even from whenever I was younger, I always wanted to be in business. I always wanted to, like you said, wear a suit, all this stuff. Now that I'm older, I'm cool with just wearing this. I don't really mind not wearing a suit. But still running my businesses and doing all that stuff, I still want to do all of that. But, I mean, for me, I used to, and some of my friends can attest to this, I used to dye Nike Elite socks in high school and sell them to people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say the business worked out and it was all great 100% of the time. I only sold a couple, but because obviously I'm competing with Nike, who are coming out with the same thing that I am,
Yeah.
and producing it at scale, so like it's not going to work. But that was one of the first things that I did, and I was like, dang, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm making my own money. Like, I was selling to people at the gym, people at school, like, it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then it obviously didn't scale to where I wanted it. Like, okay, whatever, next one.
Yeah.
And so really what kind of shifted my mindset was watching Gary Vaynerchuk videos or Gary Vee videos. And sometimes he comes off very abrasive. I understand. I get it.
I love Gary Vee though.
And so for me, you and Gary Vee, I could tell y'all. Hey, y'all on the same wavelength for sure. But for me, that kind of like opened my mind or opened my eyes as to like, dang, okay, I just need to get used to failing, because it's not just going to be a one and done thing. My first business isn't going to scale to $10 million. Like, my first one might fail. I might get 100,000. I might get 50, and then I just move on to the next thing. And so after watching those, I'm like, dang, what am I doing with my time? And so that's really important too. I just kind of, okay, how am I using my time productively throughout the day? If I'm just sitting there watching Netflix while I'm doing homework or at work, I could be doing something else. I could watch a YouTube video. I could be researching on what I want to do, stuff of that nature. So I feel like that's kind of what helped me shift. And then that got me to like, okay, I kind of went overboard with it, but I'm going to be hyper productive all day. And it was literally all day. From the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep, barely even listening to music, only podcasts, YouTube videos. I'm working, I'm researching, doing stuff all the time. So that's kind of what happened with me. I don't know if you have a similar story, but that was just mine.
I have a similar story. Now, I've been in sales kind of my whole working career. Mm-hmm. I've also done labor jobs and things of that nature, right? Because every young kid does starting out. Mm-hmm. But I've normally done sales jobs. So I sold memberships at a gym. I did retail, so I sold clothes. I did reselling, so I sold clothes and shoes. I've been in car sales. I mean, now technically I'm in home sales, right? Technically speaking. So I've always been in a sales environment. So my biggest switch from being a business person to an entrepreneur was actually when I started getting into real estate, like heavy, so about 22, I'd say. When I started getting into like super heavy real estate mindset, that's when I switched to an entrepreneur, because then it wasn't just sales, it was more of customer service.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, my big switch was, for sales, I was all about getting a sale, like getting the check, getting the commission. Whereas now I'm all about customer service. And it's, when you're an entrepreneur, you care more about the experience and the customer service and everything someone else is getting when they're coming to you. You care way more about that than you do any check you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was my biggest mind switch from being a business person to an entrepreneur, because now I don't care about the time at all. Like, I'll spend 3 hours with you, or I'll spend 300 hours with you. As long as you're getting what I need you to get out of me, the check will come. Like, the money will come. It's going to be there. You know, money comes and goes.
Mm-hmm.
But that personal experience does not come and go.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So that was my biggest mind switch right there.
Yeah.
So, but that's it for this one, guys. That's episode number 1, season 1 of the Empire Podcast. Let us know in the comments if you have any ideals of where you kind of think being a business person and entrepreneur kind of differentiates, or let us know if you had a personal experience between the two, or if you've been thinking about doing business and everything. And kind of like what we said, it's falling flat on your face and having to get back up and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to end up with anything,
Yeah.
leave them with any last golden nugget you might have.
I mean, same thing that he said. I mean, let us know what you guys think. I mean, if you guys need any help from us, we're here. We're available to you guys. So just let us know, and just be prepared. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, like you said, and like I said, you're going to fall on your face, and it's okay. I just feel like if you have your circle or any mentors to kind of help you along the way, that really helps a lot too. Or even people who've experienced it or done it before. Maybe not specifically what you're trying to do, but just business in general. That really helps, or at least I found that it really helps, because it makes you feel like it's not you against the world. It's not just you by yourself. So to me, at least, that was very helpful, and a lot of other entrepreneurs I've talked to, just having someone else to kind of relate to and talk to, that helps a lot too. So like we said, like, we're going to be here for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, just let us know. But season 1, episode 1, we're out, and we'll catch y'all next time.